And we're at the very beginning of the right-wing pipeline.
Yeah.
You're getting sucked into the pipeline right now.
There'll be some recommended channels in the sidebar if you want to go a little bit deeper.
I'm going to remember this and talk about it on stream. And you know what I didn't do? Remember it. So, like, for some reason, my dumb ass feels like I can just have a thought and then remember it later, instead of having a thought and then writing it down because I will forget it. You'd think that I would know myself at this point and then just write things down. Bullshit getting ahead by networking. I wish I was better at networking, man. It's a weakness of mine.
This is not a partisan issue. You should absolutely care about an international trial trafficking, a blackmail operation consisting of the most powerful people in the world. And anyone telling you to move on is coping, gaslighting, or in on it. If whatever is in there is so damning that it is a national security risk, the people deserve to know. Like, I don't know about you, but if we are paying taxes to a bunch of satanic pedophiles, I would like to know. That is information I would like to know. Like, I already know we're doing that, but I would like some confirmation.
He's rotting. So there's a lot of people who care about this right now and a lot of people who don't. They're just shrugging it off. Oh, it's another psyop. It's a distraction to everybody, especially those people. I would ask, how could a convicted sex offender operate a trafficking network for decades while and after rubbing shoulders with some of the most powerful and influential people on the planet, and it all just gets swept under the rug?
Listen to people who sound like sure, and I'm usually just like sure, like I'll do whatever. People just like follow people who like have balls. It's that simple. Like there's nothing really more to it.
Like I really can't discuss it. We couldn't really like identify it essentially, and it had outperformed them. And then ultimately what I saw with the pushback of the military not even wanting to share with Congress information, which is a big problem because when you have Congress that's supposed to be the advocate and voice for the American people, the oversight body, and you're being denied access, not just from a base commander, but high level up at the Pentagon, even Secretary of Defense, it's a problem. Based on our investigations and stuff that we've seen, okay, there is definitely something that I think would rival what we know currently with physics and a tech that potentially is out there that we don't have the ability to reproduce. Have I seen photo documentation of aircraft that I believe were not made by mankind? Yes.
Like if the world's about to end with something I can have an influence on, then the world probably deserved to end. The fuck could I possibly do to prevent something? But if the world's about to end because I didn't empty the dishwasher, I mean, I can do that. But if that's, like, the fate of the planet relies on it, I mean, we probably just don't deserve to continue going.
Or if you don't believe in conspiracy theories, why do you not believe in any conspiracy theories? I understand not all of them, not most of them, but you don't believe in any conspiracy theory? You just think the government's just batting 1,000 and telling us the whole truth? That's a strong stance to take. I don't like talking about things I don't feel like I'm truly knowledgeable in. But I do know this. Our government is placed in charge of all of its people. I'm a father who's been placed in charge of just one son. And I lie to that nigga all the time.
So is that a joint?
How does that work? Do people get upset at you if you do certain things?
You know, I didn't know that I was going to do this, but I'm going to announce it on your show anyway. This FBI is leaving the Hoover building because this building is unsafe for our workforce, and we want the workforce.
You just gave up a big nugget.
We want.
You are disadvantaged being a man in society for structural reasons. So how can you blame men for not wanting to play a game that's rigged against them? Straight up.
Now, I'm supposed to start with these operation programs first. That's Major Bar and Shed. Let's do something a little more fun. How about...
In a world where common sense takes a backseat and physics is just a suggestion, comes a movie that punches logic in the face.
Nobody likes ads. Unless, of course, they're cheeky ads. Go to usecheeky.com right now and get the best soap in the universe that we made. See, that's an effective ad. 5 seconds. That's it.
Tired of
of watching low-effort content? Then come on down to patreon.com/CoffeeZilla. If you support high-effort investigations, you also get all these perks. But wait, there's more. Imagine your name up in lights. It's a $50,000 value. And it also helps us make things, which is good too.
Terms and conditions apply. Please read fine print for more details.
Want to take all the toys out of the box, overhaul everything, and share it with the world in fanatical detail? With all the things we were never allowed to talk about, shared with anyone who wants to subscribe right here for free and for the whole world to see. That's right, free. We're not putting any educational content behind a paywall ever.
Just staring at the sky, because they all saw it. And then it floated there for like a minute or two and then shot straight up into the sky and punched a hole in the clouds. And light came through because it's a cloudy day. And what am I supposed to make of that?
This is by Frank Mead, who's Air Force Research Labs, 2006. And it says what this can be used for is a dense plasma fusion and propulsion technology with a advanced lifting body airframe utilizing air-breathing magnetohydrodynamics, which means it just zaps the air and uses it as energy.
And confronted with one of the most, if not the most, important discovery in the history of human beings. The big question, are we alone? It's the number one question. There's
Right.
two questions, right? What happens when we die, and are we alone? Those are the two big questions.
Right.
And if we're not alone, and someone knows we're not alone, and these some people who know we're not alone are these bungling sort of
Even if they
military
weren't,
folks.
it's a crime that they're not telling the
Yes.
rest of us.
But I mean, I don't mean bungling in terms of they're incompetent. I mean, they can't be competent. It seems to me, to what you're describing, that no one can be competent with this technology. Like the Victorian era scholars analyzing some sort of a nuclear reactor. There's no way.
Why do you
It's
think
beyond us.
Why do you think they're not telling us? Let's just make an assumption that this is true right now. Why do you think that they're not telling us, that our government doesn't tell us? What's your best
Well,
thought?
let me put it into what you do. If I'm the president, okay, and I get this information, what do I do with this? What do I do with this? There's
Total
something that we don't
control.
know.
Bing, bing, bong,
There's
bong,
something we
bing,
don't
bing, bing.
understand.
You know what that is,
There's
right?
something that came from another world. We got it tucked away in the mountains, and I just wanted you guys to know about it. Hey, sleep tight. Hey, American Idol's on tonight. Who do you think's gonna win?
Yeah.
Who's gonna win America's Got
that's
Talent?
not gonna happen.
So
what?
And one of the first things people say is, well, gravity, how can gravity be related to electromagnetism? Electromagnetism is so much more powerful than gravity is. But if you look at the forms, the equations for Coulomb's force and gravity, you'll find that the forms of the equations are exactly the same.
Identical.
Yeah, identical. You have just a constant, and then you have mass 1 or electric force 1 times mass 2 or electric force 2 divided by r squared, right? And it's the same for both of them. So then the question is, why are those constants different? And this is where I pass it over to Dr. Yu for his example, right?
Yes, that's exactly what's wrong with Newton's gravitational equation. Newton force only one dimensional from the center to center. Does not have enough control. Of course, it's a chaotic universe, right? If you change Newton into electromagnetic force, everything just works the same way as we observe.
You say they move in six dimensions?
Oh, if you want to control, let's say, a rigid body, every rigid body you have 6 degrees of freedom in order to
all the different directions.
In order to able to describe its position and orientation.
Okay, so that's like left, right, up, down, forward,
and the rotation.
And rotation.
On each axis.
And then in like chemistry, the hexagon is super stable. The 6 points creating like this inward pressure.
Yeah, you would see a stable chemical elements, right? Has a symmetry.
The heart of the dense plasma focus are 2 cylindrical electrodes only a few inches across, nested inside each other. The electrodes are enclosed in a vacuum chamber with a low-pressure gas filling the space between them. A pulse of electricity from a capacitor bank, an energy storage device, is discharged across the electrodes. For a few millionths of a second, an intense current flows from the outer to the inner electrode through the gas. Instabilities first compress the gas into dense filaments. These filaments are little whirlwinds of plasma. The sheath of filaments converges together into a dense pinch or focus, combining all the filaments into one. This filament kinks and twists itself into a tiny dense ball only a few thousandths of an inch across, called a plasmoid. Instability in a plasmoid creates powerful beams in opposite directions. Positively charged nuclei flow in one direction, and electrons flow in the other. The electron beam heats the plasmoid to billions of degrees, hot enough to fuse nuclei together to release fusion energy. In sum, the DPF operates by leveraging electricity to induce a plasma state for some gas. It then exploits a series of instabilities within the plasma to bring about controlled nuclear fusion. We call this focus fusion.
Well, I mean, the only thing I could verify was what I had my hands on. There was talk of weapon systems, that there were different projects. Project Galileo, Project Sidekick was supposed to be weapon applications of the craft. Project Looking Glass had to do with time, any effects of time in the craft. Now, I don't think we're not talking about making a time machine like in science fiction, but we're talking about, small distortions, intentional distortions of time. These, again, were just the small briefings that I read. But again, I don't really like to talk about those because I don't have any information on them, and it was just, small briefings.
But you told Commander Fravor that what he saw might have been a time dilation and not
it could be
propulsion.
because gravity affects time, space-time. I'm sure you've heard of that. And, what Commander Fravor saw as he was in the F-18 approaching it, he said he described it as a ping pong ball in a cup and shaking it back and forth. It was moving that fast.
Pointing north-south, and it's going north-south, east-west. It's just radically moving forward, back, left, right at will. And it's moving around the disturbance, the white water that we see.
How big is this thing?
So, over time, it's about 40 feet long.
Now, obviously, if there's anything inside there, it's going to be battered to hell. But, my point was that, one of two things. Either there's a gravitational envelope in there which negates any inertia effects, or you are seeing through a gravity distortion field. So, just like you're looking at a hot highway and you see,
Looks like
an
water.
optical distortion going through there. Well, the same thing happens in gravity, and the craft may not actually be moving like that. It may just look like it because you can only see it through the field. So it may be making much more gentle moves. I'm not saying that's it, but it has to be one of the two.
What's fascinating to me, too, is that you were discussing this, the way this reactor worked, and that these things were not really connected.
No, nothing is connected. There's no wiring at all.
Oh, shit. Hey, Mikey, I think he likes it. How about some more? Hell yes.
And talk about these sort of things as they come up. It's really fun, and it's really fun to see other streamers talking about this. So yeah,